Alright, peace and black power, family. Once again, it's the African Empowerment Network. We're here with another king, bringing some information to y'all about what he's doing. I'm gonna let him introduce himself and tell him a little bit about who he is, where he's from, and what it is that he's doing.
What's up, people? My name's Homari. 24, almost 25-year-old beat maker from Sarasota. I go by the alias of either King H Dub or Soda Music Productions, whichever one. Started making beats when I was about 15 years old. I actually got introduced to a friend of mine, because at the time I was rapping, and he made beats. He showed me FL Studio at the time, and pretty much I just fell in love with beats from there, and I was trying to pretty much find whatever software I could find to make my beats, and I ultimately ended up landing back to FL Studio, which was called Fruity Loops at the time. I've been rocking with that ever since.
So, Fruity Loops, that's been pretty instrumental into you getting started and everything. You got introduced to that through your friend. What's some advice you would have to the people who got Fruity Loops right now, but they don't really know exactly the full capacity of what it can do for them? What's some things they should probably look out for or try to look into if they experimenting with Fruity Loops?
If you're experimenting with it, one thing I recommend is just mess with it. I mean, it's a software. They have all the sounds that you need to start out with. Just start messing with it and see what happens when you tweak a certain knob to the left or to the right. Learn about pretty much what they do, learn about the effects and how it actually will make your beats sound better. There are plenty of different effects you can use, like reverb, delay, filters, phasers, distortion, everything. And it's pretty easy to learn too. That's the main reason why I got into it, because it was ridiculously easy to learn as compared to some other programs like A.E.N and Logic and Reason. I messed with those, but for the longest, I just couldn't, figure it out. But with FL Studio, everything is right there. The step sequencer is right there. You got a metronome at the top, so you can tell whenever you're staying on beat or not, and it's just pretty damn easy.
Is that the free, the basic version, or is that the version you gotta pay for?
You can get the demo for free. They have I think 3 or 4 different levels of it. They have regular FL Studio, and then they have the producer edition, and then there's 2 more levels. But with each of those levels, you get a little bit more and more. So let's say you start out with the producer level, you may not get all of the better. I don't even want to say better, but of the neater synth modules and things like that, Citrus. And you can purchase, once you get it, you can purchase it. It's actually pretty cheap from there, but I think the basic version is between maybe 100 and 150. I don't know,
Which version would you recommend out of all of those?
Just to get your feet wet, start off with the basic edition. That's pretty much what I did. Before I even got the producer edition, which is the one that I have. Before I started with that, I was just using the demo, and the downside to it was you couldn't save beat. So if you would close it out, you lose that beat forever unless you go back and remake it. So my goal was I would always try to make a beat, finish it, and then pretty much render it to an MP3 file or a WAV file before I closed it out, so I could say, hey, I got this beat that I can listen to. So there's that. And then on top of that, even if you get the basic version, find pretty much a bunch of sounds and effects and stuff like that online for free. I've probably found 10, 15 different drum kits, probably 5 or 6 other sound kits for free. You just gotta do a little bit of searching and start out with the basic version just to get your feet wet. And after after that, I mean, if you really want to get into it and want to invest money in it, then upgrade to a better version. Start buying other like VSTs and things like that.
Sound like you got a little bit of experience and you know what you're doing a little bit, man.
A little bit.
As far as yourself and making beats, what kind of sound would you say you generally produce?
If I were to go with the Forte, that sounds a little old, but I was a crunk kind of guy, so like most of my beats pretty much were a reflection of Lil Jon and artists like Pastor Troy, Lil Scrappy, Trill Bill, people like them, because that's pretty much the era that I love listening to. I mean, so now that I broadened my horizons, I'm everywhere. I can listen to rap one day, I can listen to country the next, rock the next, techno, polka, like any genre, like it don't matter. You can learn from every genre. You can always get something out of that genre and still put it into what you're doing. So if you're doing a trap beat, I can almost guarantee you can listen to a polka song, something like that, or like a song in Yiddish, and find something that you really think sounds cool, and you can incorporate it into your trap beat, and it'll sound a lot better than a lot of people think, because they wouldn't even know unless I told them.
Never would have probably thought about
Exactly.
it. That's crazy. When you putting the beats together, what would you say is the sound that you listening for before you finally know, like, all right, this it, I'm done?
Well, as far as like me when I'm starting out,
Yeah, when you composing, when you first in the beginning stages, what's some like inspiration you look for, or the certain sound, tone, volume, tempo, or whatever that you're looking for when you're putting it all together?
my tempo, it's usually within the same range, anywhere between, like I say, 120 up to like 140, 145. I think the lowest I've ever done a beat was probably like 70 beats per minute. But typically when I start out, I never really know what I'm gonna work, what I'm gonna do. It's just one day I can say that, okay, you know what, I want to make a trap beat or something like that. So I would start, incorporating all the sounds that I think would be in a trap beat, like of course the 808s, a good brass sample, a couple synths here and there, bells, blah blah blah. But pretty much with my process, I never know. Like I'll wake up and I'll let's get on here, see what I hear. If I like it, let's see what I can work with. Like actually, just literally the other day, I woke up. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was actually in kind of like a beat block, which is pretty much writer's block for beat makers and producers. And I just got up. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna open up one of my VSTs. I'm gonna just close my eyes, look for a random sound. I'm gonna load it, and then I'm just gonna make a beat from it. And literally, I heard it, stop, ding, okay, made a beat. It's that simple. But there's no set process for me as far as starting out. It's just whatever I feel. So.
As far as artists locally, mainstream, what type of artists do you generally listen to?
As far, it's crazy because I actually listen to a lot of independent artists. And it's crazy because I've always been that guy. Like I would listen to independent artists and I'd be happy as fuck when I see them get a deal or something like that. Or even if they stay independent, as long as they're grinding and going on tours. So, as far as who I listen to locally, my boy E.G. Dub, he sends me tracks all the time, and I'm always listening to him, and I always give my opinion on him, and that man got some potential. I really like him. And then there's, I've been listening to my boy Jonas, because he just dropped off a mixtape. Honestly, I didn't even, I knew he could rap, but I didn't really pay attention that much until he really started talking about his mixtape and he released the video. I'm like, okay, dude, pretty serious.
Yeah, I don't understand how putting in some work.
So, and also, boy, Tyler, Tyla, I can't forget him, man, because he's been rapping ever since I've known him, and he always been nice. I remember he shut me down in the freestyle battle back in 10th grade. There's that, and that's pretty much in this area. That's an example. Other artists I listen to, they're out in the Tampa area. My homeboy Scott A, I've known him since like 7th grade. And I remember actually, he told me one day he wanted to rap, and we actually had a class where we had to make a song. So, I remember I ended up writing the song because he was just like fresh. He was like fresh as fuck at the time, so he didn't know anything. But now, like, I could easily say that man surpassed whatever song or bars I could write in my life. And he's actually pretty well known in the Tampa area too. Pretty much him and the entire Blue Zone. Definitely look out for them, especially when you're in that Tampa area, because they pretty much like the headliners there. But then broaden out, I mean, there's Snow the Product, Tech 9, MGK, who else, man?
Your library a lot different from a lot of people out there who they listen to, man.
Like, I mean, of course,
much respect for that.
Yeah, of course, you got people like 2 Chainz and Ludacris. You have a lot of mainstream artists, but it's like when you actually take time and listen to some of the independent artists, they come out with stuff that are a lot better than what you think, you know.
Right.
Pretty much Slamerican, and that's pretty much Yellow Wolf, Ritz, a couple other guys. And let's see, man, it's just pretty much whoever I find.
How many of these artists would you plan on doing any future work with, or potentially making some beats for?
Definitely Eric. I've been talking. I've actually lost touch with him, but I want to make some beats for him.
King E.G. Dub, I know you hear this. We're gonna make that happen, man.
Yeah, man. I can't forget my man, Slim Figure. I mean, he's been trying to make noise up in the east side of Florida. He was actually just on Bubba the Love Sponge. He was just on there this morning, and he's now Bubba's actually nationally syndicated. So it's like when you hear him, you're gonna hear him across the country, like on Sirius and everything. And I mean, pretty much, I'm open to working with, anybody. So whoever wants to get in contact with me with some beats, just let me know, man. It's all I've been doing recently, so just holler at me.
How much time you say you dedicate to specifically just grinding in the computer in the studio making beats?
Pretty much whatever free time I have. So like, if I gotta be working like 3 in the afternoon, I'm gonna wake up at 9 and I'm gonna be making beats until pretty much I gotta go to work.
Okay.
So it's whatever free time I have.
So with the artists who were looking to contact you or whatever, how would they get in touch with you, and what's some of the outlets or media plugs where you at already?
Pretty much whenever you want to find me, you can find me online. Everything's linked to my phone, so if you're gonna get at me on Instagram, it's at KingHW_beats. If you're on Twitter, it's at King_HW. YouTube, pretty much King HW, one word, and then put a space, beats. And if you're gonna look for me on Facebook, man, just type in Homari Williams. You'll find me on black and white, big hair.
All right, now before we get out of here, I need you to give some advice, pointers, words of encouragement or upliftment for anybody who getting ready to get into this industry or thinking about making or producing beats. Just let them know like the ins and outs, some things to look forward to, some things to look out for, and when the times of adversity come, how to overcome it. Just a little helpful stuff like that.
Okay, pretty much if you're starting out, expect to suck. Like that, I mean, it's everything takes time. Like I'm just sitting on the computer like 2, 3 days ago, and I was listening to the very first beat I made back in 2006, and I compared it to one of the beats that I made, pretty much one of the beats I made this year, like early this year, and there's like a huge contrast. And this is I started in 2006, so this is like pretty much 10 years, of a progression that I was in. So definitely expect to start out horrible. Just keep working, hard work, be there, beat anything. Another thing is just learn music theory. Learn it as best as you can, learn what chords are, learn what notes are where on the piano or guitar, whatever instrument you want to play. Learn the scales, and pretty much, I mean, like, you'd be surprised, like, with all the beats that I've made, like, I literally just started trying to teach myself how to play the piano. Like, not even 3 weeks ago. And just me learning music theory, I ended up making better beats. I ended up making more beats in a lesser amount of time than I've ever done. So that's definitely there.
So you're gonna have some pianos on the tracks pretty soon.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
Oh man, all right.
And also learn the business, man. If you want to get into the music industry, you have to learn the business, and you have to treat yourself like a business.
Explain that a little more for him. What you mean by treating it like a business?
Like anything, if you want to make money on it, there's a certain way you have to act. There's certain things you have to do. Like, you may hate your job because of the way that they function, but this is how they make money. This is how they've been making money. Like Walgreens, they had to become a Fortune 500 company, following some form of order. So you have to pretty much have that mindset. This is what you're gonna do to be making money. Anytime that you're not doing it, you're wasting money.
Right.
So there's that. Learn contracts, leasing contracts, exclusive contracts. Learn all of them.
Would you recommend somebody trying to get signed under contract with someone else, or would you be one to vouch for going the independent route and owning all the rights to your own music and everything else?
Go independent, and I mean, even if you were to make a contract with somebody, make a deal with somebody like Bad Boy or Def Jam, Interscope, or whatever, you can still, move that contract to go your way. And of course, if they don't, want to work with you, you don't need them. I mean, think about how far you got to that point without them. So, I mean, I always say try to stick to being independent, but never be afraid to learn from somebody in the industry. I mean, that's just the way it is. Like, I gotta learn from somebody. Like, I'm talking to producers online and getting advice from them all the time. And if I ever get to the point where, like a deal's brought my way, especially as a rapper or a singer, like anybody that writes music or records music, one of the biggest things is to own your masters. Because if you don't, I mean, that's going to be a huge crutch on you, especially as far as being independent. That's the best thing about being independent. You own your masters. You can make more money that way. Like, let's say, for example, if I wanted to sample somebody, let's say, for example, this is why a lot of industry people don't like working with samples, because they don't want to deal with the person that owns the masters, because they're going to ask for way too much than you can afford. Like, let's say, for example, I think Coolio, a while back, he sampled like a song with Stevie Wonder. So when he went to Stevie, he's like, hey, I want to use this track that you made. I want to get, like 40 or 50% out of it. Stevie and his people were like, no, you got to give us, I think he ended up getting 80%. So let's say Gangsta's Paradise. Let's say if that album made $10 million, you have to give 80% of that to Stevie Wonder. You know, so now he's got most of the money that you made off the song, but that's because he owns the masters. He can do whatever he wants with it. You know, so that's another thing. Once you start really getting into it, learn about owning your masters. Don't let anybody take that from you. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they do. Keep your masters, own your masters, full and outright.
That's some powerful information right there. I've never heard anybody explain it like that before. I'm glad you dropped that for him. Anything else as far as advice on pointers?
I mean, do what I do. If you can't find anybody that can help you around here, because I know when it comes to music, like everybody wants to be kind of like independent, or everybody wants to be the first from Sarasota or Bradenton to like really blow. So they kind of try to look down, man, don't mind that, but if they don't want to work with you, fuck 'em. I mean, like I say, any Macklemore started out like this. Man won a Grammy like 2 years ago, you know, and he didn't really need anybody. He's been working with the same people ever since. And that's Ryan Lewis, you know. But there's that, and pretty much, man, at the end of the day, hard work. You know, like I say, if you want to make money off of you, each time, every moment that you're not spending on it, you're losing money. So just keep that as a mindset, and just keep going, just keep working.
You got any beats in store you could let the people hear? Like a little quick 20-30 second demo or a couple beats you might have been working on already?
Oh yeah, man, I always got some I've been working on. Like I've been working on about 5 or 6 of them, so it's almost kind of like a take your pick. So,
all right, you think we can get a sample of that real quick?
oh yeah, definitely.
All right. Got the King H-Dub playing some of the beats he working on for us. That beat dropped nice. How long you took you to put this one together?
I don't remember. I guess if I were to put a time frame on it, probably be like a day, like a full day.
Dang, that ain't bad.
And I came up with this beat by accident. Well, I was this is when I first got my MIDI keyboard. So like I said, I just started trying to teach myself how to play the piano, but I kind of had an idea as to what a chord was. So I just one day accidentally just laid down the main chord for it. It was like 3 chords, and so I was like, okay, found the right sound. I was like, it actually kind of reminded me of. For some reason, when I made this, I thought of Rihanna, "Bitch Better Have My Money."
I kind of hear that a little bit.
Yeah, so I ended up throwing the acapella in to kind of help me finish it out.
You ever sit around and just go over your tracks sometimes when you put them together?
I mean, as somebody that makes beats, you have to, whether you want to or not, because you have to mix it, you know, before anybody goes out and buys it, you know, and pretty much you have to nitpick at that point. You got to make sure every sound sounds perfect, make sure something isn't too low, something isn't too high. Make sure the sounds kind of like blend in together the right way. Make sure you have it sequenced the correct way from beginning to end. And You know, so yeah, I have to listen to it. I probably play this beat probably like 5 or 6 times a day. Then even then still go back to it and think, okay, well, it's missing this, or maybe I should add that. You know.
Dang, that's what's up. Alright, so that's one you got one more in store for us to say here, give us two. It's an exclusive from King H Dub, man. Some of the work he working on, so if anybody wanted to know what it sound like, what he been doing, he's showing you right here. So all y'all artists out there that's looking for somebody who making beats, here you go. He got himself out here. All you gotta do is reach out and make the connect now. If you need a spot on the channel, I'm more than willing to give you a spot on the channel as long as you got something going and you doing something. Hey. I like that. How long it took you to make this one? It'd be fire.
Actually, this one probably didn't really take me that long. This one kind of just came to me. I remember I was sitting with my homeboy, we were watching Vines, and he was showing me this Vine that he thought was like funny. And in the Vine, it's this little girl saying "turn up." So I was like, oh man, I could probably make a nice ass beat to that. So I pretty much found, chopped the sample and made it. And then I just found this and one other sound, and then the rest just came like nothing.
How you get your beats to play with that hook in the background saying your name like that?
It's a vocal tag that I think I paid probably like 10 or 15 bucks for. And on this website, just pretty much to protect you, or protect people from just trying to steal it. They just add it in there for you once you upload it.
Dang.
So it just randomly plays.
That's tight. I like that. So you looking to sell your beats?
Oh yeah, of course. And I mean, if you go to my Flash store, which is pretty much my flashstore.net /KingHWBeats, you'll see what beats I have on here, and how much it is for a license. And also, pretty much, if you, the more you get, the more you save. So let's say the first one's 35. You get a second beat, that basically saves you 10 bucks. You know, you get that third one, you know, it saves you another 5-10 bucks, and it just keeps going that way. So ultimately, you save $15.
And you set that up?
Yeah. So the way the website's set up, they help you with that. So
dang, that's nice. So we got the beats for sale.
Yep.
And that's at myflashstore.net
/KingHWBeats.
/KingHWBeats. That's myflashstore.net /KingHWBeats if you're trying to look for some beats. Alright, man. Appreciate that, man.
No problem.
Now, to close out, anywhere else they could go to look to find your music or your beats or anything else you got? Future works coming up, or any past work that you've done that they might want to check out?
As a reference to just how far I've came, I have two different links. One is on soundclick.com, and this one is Soda Music, SOTAMUZIK. That will pretty much have the first set of beats that I've made from like 2006 up to probably like 2009. And reverbnation.com /Soda Music Productions. So SOTAMUZIK. Productions. And those will have the beats that I've made probably from 2009 up to maybe 2012, maybe 2013, maybe. And I mean, when you play any random assortment of them, and you can see where where I started at to what I'm doing now.
See the progression.
Yeah.
And how often do you update with the beats on your website?
Being that honestly, I just got back into it because I hate my job. I mean, my goal is to upload one every week or two.
Okay.
So, I mean, as long as you follow me on any of my social media outlets, you'll know when I upload something.
All right. Any last minute shout outs you want to do before we get ready to wrap it up?
Man, shout out to pretty much anybody working hard.
Real talk.
Anybody working hard to perfect their craft or whatever it is they do, whether it's flipping burgers or whether it's making music or whatever. As long as you working hard and keeping yourself out of trouble, I mean, shout out to you.
All right, that's peace, man. Appreciate your time. Glad that you came through to participate and come on the channel. Everybody, y'all know who we got here now. You know what he doing, what he offering, what he providing, how to get in touch with him, where he at. Link up, make something happen, man.
Yeah.
Peace and Black Power. We out. Down to the next one.
King H.